Sera Insect, is it good? Is it bad? Let's talk about it. Right, so what is Sera Insect? So Sera Insect is what I would consider a crumble. Just like that, and handy is that they've got a wee plastic lid as opposed to a seal foil. So it's what I would consider a crumble. It's not a pellet, it's not a flake, it's kind of in between. It's all multiple shapes, which means when it sinks at a gradual speed. Some stays at the surface for a while, and some of it sinks down, and then hits the bottom. It kind of moves very irregularly because it's on a weird sort of shape, with all little pellets and that kind of stuff. As far as the shape of it goes, or the size of it, it's nice and small. I wouldn't consider it a micro pellet type size, but it's definitely small enough for your general community fish to go absolutely crazy on it. It's fantastic for corydoras as well because it hits the ground and then they get their fill as well. So that's what it is. Nutritional breakdown of this product is fairly good. It's got a very high protein count of 52, which is the highest that I have actually seen myself on a container of fish food. And then when you add up all the numbers, it comes to 79.8, which is also ridiculously high, which means only about 21% of this is junk, fillers and that sort of stuff, which is always really good to see in a product. Ingredients wise, its main ingredient is mealworm larvae at 40%, which is a fantastic number. Unfortunately, following that, we've got wheat gluten, wheat flour, wheat germ and brewer's yeast, but they do have to bind it with something. Following through that, then you've got green lip mussels and garlics, and a word that I cannot pronounce, which is homeostasis algae. Probably pronounced it totally wrong, but it is what it is. And following up that, a little bit deeper into that, it has an astasiathian, again, probably pronounced that wrong, which helps build up the red pigments in the fish. So if anything, this is going to help bring out reds in your fish, which is fantastic. The only seafood or aquatic thing that is in this is obviously a bit of algae, sea algae, and the green lip mussels. There is no fish, there's no fish meal, there's no salmon, there's nothing like that. There is no krill, there is nothing else along those lines. So this is purely almost based completely on an insect food, which I also think is absolutely phenomenal because that is what the majority of our fish are eating in the wild. That's a massive tick for me. So that's what's in it, that's how it's nutritionally broken down, what are some of the ups and what are some of the downs to it. For me, one of the positives, one of the things that I absolutely love the most is how that it semi-sinks. Like I said before, it'll sort of float at the top and slowly go the way down. So if you've got fish that like to graze at the top, you're under control. Ones that like to graze in the middle of the water, sort it out as well, and at the bottom, under control as well. Cories go crazy on it, plecos love it as well, and all the tetras and the rasboras and stuff like that that I feed on it really well as well. As I said earlier, it's not a micro pellet, it's slightly bigger than that, so if you've got small nano fish, it's probably not suitable for it, but if you've got your general size community aquarium, fantastic. Dwarf cichlids, no dramas whatsoever at all. If, however, it is a little bit too big for you, chuck in the pepper grinder, give it a wee grind, and it breaks it down ridiculously easily, or you can break it easily enough in your fingers as well. So they're my positives. Fish go crazy for it. I personally really like this food. I've had good response from all the fish that we feed on it, extra coloration, extra growth, but it must be said that I do feed other things at the same time, so I can't be 100% sure that the Sera Insect is exactly doing it, but as a general whole, I really like this food. The downsides to this, although 40% of this is insects, which I think is phenomenal, unfortunately the next few ingredients I think are fairly average. It's a bit of a disappointment to have all this great insect larvae in there, then you go to wheat gluten, wheat flour, wheat germ and brewer's yeast. That is a bit of a disappointment to me. Maybe if they put a couple of other really popping ingredients next and then followed through with some of your filling type stuff or some of your binding type agents, might have been better, but it's a little bit unfortunate they've gone so good with the mealworm larvae than to have the other stuff coming up behind it afterwards. Next question is, do fish eat it? Let's find out. Right, here we go. So we're going in. So as you can see there, it sits at the top. And then it begins to find its way down in a semi-floating type way, on the way down now. So that's what I really like about the speed that it drops down. Platies going for it, good times. As you can see here, these are just your normal generic size platies, and it's eating, going into them quite comfortably. It's not too big, it's not too small. We'll come back to this tank in a few seconds time once the corydoras come out for their fill as well. Got a tank here full of guppies. I'm going to just crush it down a little bit. So as you can see, it breaks it up a little, makes it a little bit smaller. Our guppies are very happy to take it from the top of the surface, and now it's begun falling to the bottom. Just a little bit too big on the big side for them at the full size, but once you break it up, no dramas there whatsoever. We go again in this tank. Got some beautiful sunset guppies and albino corydoras. Slight crush on the way down. You can see it spreads quite nicely. Fish at the top are having the fill. And it'll just begin to slowly but surely drop down as it is right now. A really nice consistent rate. Just about to hit the ground. Corydoras. So it's under 30 seconds and we're beginning to hit the ground. It looks like some of these big girls are going to get the feed before the cories do. The cories got the sniff now and away they go. Easy as. And as we can see here, the panda corydoras, they've come out for their fill now as well. Hit the ground, it's now bottom feeders. Four cichlids, they're sniffing around, they're picking away. No issues whatsoever. So what do I think about Sera Insect as an overall product? For me, gets a double thumbs up. I like the amount of insect that's in it and the lack of fish and fish derivatives. I like how nearly 80% of it is whole product and 20% of it is not whole or more fillers. I like the speed that it drops, giving everything in your aquarium a chance. If it's a top feeding fish, middle feeding or bottom dwelling fish, they all get a chance to give it a go. I liked the fact that it is a small enough crumble to get most size fish as well, and if it's a little bit too big you can break it up either in your fingers or some sort of cracking device. We feed Sera Insect throughout the shop on part of our rotation. They get fed it on a regular basis. I think it's a fantastic product. And it's definitely well worth a go. So if you have given this a go, please let me know what you think of it. And if you haven't, why haven't you tried it? Maybe this review will help you make the decision to give it a wee nudge. So yeah, that's all I've got. Hope this helps. Have a good one, team. Happy fish keeping, and catch you later.